The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's Nikki Glaser. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday. We are wearing all green today for what reason? I don't know. Andrew and I both showed up wearing green, and we decided that Noah should go put on some green too, and that's what she did. That's what kind of show this is.
She agreed.
Andrew, you're wearing like an entire Masters uniform,
I
like
am.
the golf
I
tournament.
am. It's the
What
Masters
happened
weekend.
here? Did someone send you this?
It's the Masters weekend this weekend. My mom got me both these clothes. Interesting fact, my mom has had Masters tickets for the last 20 years. I don't know the exact details of it, but she won a raffle like 20 years ago, and we just found out 20 years later that we've had
And a
Masters
lifetime
tickets.
supply of Masters tickets.
Yeah.
Why don't you go?
It's a long... Actually, I probably can't... It's a long story, but like the people that also were in... So I believe her friends signed themselves up for this raffle, right? To win Master ticket. Then they go, hey, can we double up and have you go in with us? We'll sign your name up just to see. Maybe it'll give us more of a chance to win. And then she won. But
And
they
then the
kept
people were
taking-
like, that's...
Yeah, those are our tickets. But
It's
she
ours.
won.
It's like when you tip a lottery ticket, and if the person wins, the person's like, "Actually, I bought it. I know that was just."
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So
I used to love that movie where Nicolas Cage tips the lottery ticket, and then the waitress wins.
oh,
It could
did
happen to you. I think it's called. Oh my god, it was so good. I loved rom-coms between 1995 and 1999. Why is this very the name The Masters?
Not good. Yeah.
Not great. Not great. Just when it's a sport that's really seems like very white, you know?
Yeah.
But also, I kind of like maybe you're just a master of something. That could make sense. I guess that's more of what it's about. And they're like, no, it's actually about a slave owner.
They're like, yeah, no, that's like the slaves built the course.
What is
and,
the Masters for someone who doesn't
It's
know?
like the #1 tournament, isn't it?
It's where golfers get together and make fun of black people, and then sometimes
is
putt.
Tiger Woods playing
No,
it?
what is it really?
No, it's like
Yeah,
it's,
is he-
it's yes. So
think
Tiger got in the car wreck. We all know that, and he played with his son in a father-son tournament earlier where he was hitting decent. No one really knew if he'd come back to full-on competition. And people tracked his airplane from Jupiter, Florida to Augusta, Georgia. And
So he's at the Masters.
he's at the Masters right now.
Is he playing?
We do not know yet. He has not agreed. It's like people think he's definitely playing.
Yeah, why would he? You would never go to Augusta unless you were playing in the Masters. It's the worst place ever. It's the worst town I've ever been to.
I guess his argument is he doesn't want to play unless he feels like he can win. That's what people are thinking. So unless he really feels like he can win, he's not going to play. So,
But isn't that everyone? Who would play if they didn't think they were going to win?
someone that hasn't won 20 times already? Or
Oh, just to like maybe make a splash. Yeah,
just-
like I get it.
You don't want to be embarrassed, I guess. I mean, is he ready?
What do you
I
think?
don't know.
Like Tom Brady coming back, that was so like how many people saw? I feel like I saw that coming. Like it's like the Cher reunion, like the farewell tour. She has like so many of them. And people are allowed to second guess when they quit, but it just seems. I really liked Tom Brady going out being like, I'm going out as like the greatest, you know, like the way Seinfeld did, where I'm going out when I want to go out, not when people are tired of me.
Yes, but I think
But
Tom Brady isn't.
so hard to
he's
turn
not
that down,
there
though.
yet. He's not.
He's still got
He's
stuff in
not
him.
declining. His numbers are just as good as they've, if not
But
better.
you want to go before you even start to decline, even a little smidge. Like you want to go out sincerely on top instead of like, oh, like did he have? He didn't have the. I mean, he didn't go to the Super Bowl. He didn't have the best season possible. He probably wants to go out on a Super Bowl, wouldn't you think?
Well, he won the Super Bowl the year before.
I know, but that his last season, don't you think he probably is aiming? It just didn't feel as complete this time.
I just think he thinks he has more left in him. I just think, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
he likes to compete. I think he went home with his family and his kid tried to kiss him. He's like, I'm going back.
This kid was like, "This is what you wanted, Dad."
He's like, they
Well,
bunt her
now
up.
you're 14.
He's like, I'd rather get hit by a 350-pound lineman than make out with you, boy. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Well, so you're gearing up for the Masters. You're very excited about it.
You
gotta watch
am
it.
so obsessed. You know me. I'm absolutely obsessed with golf right now, and the Masters is. A lot of golf tournaments, they go to different courses. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool, change of scenery, whatever. This is always the same. It's always the same. It's always constant. Is the golf course?
Why don't people just play that all year long to get ready for it and never do anything else so that they can just be better than anyone else who's paying all the other ones?
That's a good point. So you know all the ins and outs of just one course.
Yeah.
You put it all on one course.
Yes.
So, but that's like what we were talking about last episode. Instead of getting a B in every course, also you'd make way less money. But there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't. But I get what you're saying. There are people that do play it considerably more times.
Is it the number one though, or is there there's the PGA?
So the
Or is that just
PGA,
the
the U.S.
association?
Open, the British Open, PGA Championship, and the Masters are the four top.
Oh my God. It just reminds me of soft-spoken men. And he's teeing up and his stride is really looking good today. And it's beautiful weather. And then people are like, oh! Light clap.
Yeah.
One guy going, Baba Booey! But it always just reminds me of ASMR, very gentle men speaking in hushed tones. And, just commenting on things very quietly. Even though they're in a room far away where they could be like, and he's teeing up! And he's swing. They're not right there. They could definitely talk at a full volume, right?
Yeah, even when there's a huge chip in or a putt in, they keep it. Soccer announcers will scream goal, like they're getting robbed at gunpoint. But they just they're just like, oh, well, there it is, folks. It went in the hole, and everyone's losing their fucking mind out in the ground. I get it. I guess but I missed.
It is very soothing.
Yeah, I mean, they could do anything. I mean, they could fucking tell me I have cancer, and I'd be like, "That sounds nice." You got a tumor.
ASMR cancer doctor.
You got a tumor in your neck. It's pretty big.
God.
It has a strong.
I've been getting back into ASMR so big. I've been just watching massage videos. That was my first foray into ASMR. It was 2010. I've been doing ASMR for over 10 years now. Or I discovered the community. And because it is a discovery, people that have ASMR, you know as a child that you have something special, some weird thing. Everyone who has ASMR has the same story of this feeling I got as a child. I knew what would trigger it, but I couldn't get it to I couldn't get people to keep that going for me, and I didn't know what to ask for to make that feeling happen again. It feels oddly sexual, and I remember I used to watch massage videos all the time because I was they were so soothing to me just because I wanted to have that massage. So I was kind of watching it, but there was other factor that was making my head buzz and feel really numbing out. And then I remember just seeing a video that was tagged with ASMR, and I was like, what is ASMR? And then, oh boy, did my world just burst open. And I was just actually that DM show that I was talking about yesterday that they were asking me about my DMs. I was sharing one that Molly Shannon from SNL slid into my DMs to say I was funny and something. It was one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. And she was one of the first celebrities to come out about having ASMR. And I remember everyone was like, Molly Shannon has ASMR. And I just, it's a lot more acceptable now, but in the beginning it was super, super weird.
Yeah.
I cannot believe people it's kind of mainstream now where if you don't have it, you at least maybe know about it or have heard of it. But it's just a weird thing that I like to hear people talk softly.
It makes me think of, I have a buddy and he disciplines his kids, and, at times he'll yell, he'll scream at his kids, and his wife was like, you can't yell at the kids. You're scaring not only that kid, you're scaring the other kids. You're scaring me. And so he goes, okay, I won't yell anymore. So now if the kid does bad, he'll be like, you're going to put that away. And if you do that again, there's going to be really a lot of trouble for you. And his wife was like, go back to yelling. I can't.
Oh my God.
I can't have you. You sound
It's
like
so
a
creepy.
serial killer.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
It's so funny.
for me.
What would you rather have,
Yeah.
a guy yelling at you or
Oh my
Because you're an
God, that's
ASMR
so
person
funny.
too, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you would like more. Getting
It is true though. Like I never got really. I'm trying to think of like when I get yelled at now, I get really. It just is not something that happened to me a lot as a kid. Like I know that a lot of people get communicated that way. Like my mom would like. Sometimes my parents would like get into arguments and it would get loud, but it was never like. It would only get yelly very seldomly, but I think that a lot of people just revert to this like shouting and screaming, and it's very rattling. And I just feel so bad for people who don't know how to communicate and handle their emotions in other ways. Like it must be really scary because I've been overwhelmed with anger before and been like, I'm saying things and doing things and talking in a way that I cannot control. Like
Yeah.
it is out of my hands, and also like.
my dad. Sorry, my dad. Being from New York, they're just New Yorkers. They're loud talkers. They're not yelling. They're just talking loud.
They're
and
constantly like calling
declaratively.
for a taxi. Yeah.
yeah. But in your kitchen, 2 feet away from you, telling you,
Yeah, to
that-
pass the pepper. The pepper.
Yeah, like my dad could get an Uber from 10 miles away, but with just yelling.
Yeah.
So my dad, he would yell a lot. Like he'd talk like this, like, yeah, you gotta, like this kind of voice. And one time I remember, like, I just gave it back. Like whatever I thought that volume was of his voice, I gave it back to him and he just goes, "Hey, why are you yelling?" I go, "Dad, you've been fucking yelling my whole life." Like I was just like,
Yes. Oh my God, you had like a Dawson's Creek moment.
was that a Dawson's Creek? Like what?
I mean,
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
just a mini series moment of like, Dad, I learned it from you, Dad.
Yeah. But it was just like, I was like, yeah, I don't know. You feel crazy. You feel like not gaslit. I don't know why I don't like that word, but like, I wasn't gaslit, but it was just like, you've been.
No, you are, because you were made. That word is tossed around a lot, but
Yeah.
it does really define a thing that happens to a lot of us unintentionally, and we do it to others unintentionally. Of where it is not the way you perceive things, so you think that the way the person's saying they perceive it cannot be true. And people just don't understand that people have different feelings and different perceptions. So just because the way you're talking doesn't seem like you have a tone to you, I do get very upset though when people are like, "You're yelling," and I'm like. But to me, I'm like, it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear yourself. It really
Yeah.
is. Like
Yeah.
to really understand what you come across as, and as someone who has like seen themselves not only in podcasts where I've kind of let it go, or this reality show where it's like you see a side of yourself where you're like, oh wow, that's what I sound like. You're not always aware of your tone, but I do think yelling for me happens in arguments when I just feel like I'm not being heard. I just don't understand people that start with a yell. Mine always escalates to a yell when it's like
Yeah.
you're just trying to get a word in because the other person, and you want to be. It's just two people wanting to be heard, and I think that's why arguments so much benefit, or like in a couple situation of like, I am going to just shut up no matter what and let you talk until you're done. Like set a timer almost, and then I'm going to talk and you have to listen until I'm done with no interruptions. And then let's repeat back to each other what we just said.
Yeah.
So that, because
really
we
good.
just want to be heard, and not heard in a way that the person's staring at the ground, like shaking their head, like nodding along. Like, you're not hearing me. You're in your own thoughts. Now say back to me what I just said to you, because I want to know that you understood it. And I think that's, even if you disagree with what they're telling you, I just feel like for me, most men that I've dealt with, I think the key to arguing with men and getting heard is letting them be heard, because men really want to be understood from what I glean. They just want to see that you understand them.
Just not interrupted, like it's hard when you're trying to just say
Yeah,
something.
I know what you mean. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No.
I'm just-
But you don't, apparently you didn't hear what I said, because what I was saying was what you did. You know what I mean? No, but
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I'll yell if I don't have the vocabulary to be smart enough to speak in this tone and get my point across. Like sometimes you need emotion if you're too dumb for the words.
Yes. And you need cuss words to fill in, and then it becomes a lot more volatile, but it's really because you're just filling it in spaces where you don't have anything else to say. But then it suddenly becomes very violent. Yeah, I feel like we only got into a fight where we were like screaming at each other one time, and it was that kind of thing of like I didn't want to listen to you, you didn't want to listen to me, so it was just like, who can be louder so that we can get through to the other person? And then it becomes, wow, neither of us are going to shut up enough to hear each other, so I'm going to keep yelling as I leave and then slam the door so that it's like hanging up
while
on
you were
someone.
still in the hallway. I was like, I'm going to yell one more time.
Yes.
That doesn't even feel like our relationship anymore. That doesn't even. Maybe because we were living together and it was a different kind of like. It was just a different kind of energy.
Yes.
But I just like.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't even know what we were fighting about. That's the funny thing is like
It started with the pizza.
Most of the fights you get into. Oh, the pizza. Oh my god.
But it was Pizzagate. It was Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. And recycling.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
The
pizza
grate
was like
that
an
you didn't
epitome of like you were telling me how to do the
Nitpicking.
pizza, and I was like,
Yes.
"Yeah, the pizza, it's fine. I know what I'm doing with the pizza. I'm 41.
Yes.
You know, it's stupid.
And I was like, I was feeling frustrated because you were ignoring me on purpose when I was actually saying something helpful. But but that was a response to me doing that too much. So you go the other way. It's like we.
So
It's just. But in the end, it's just like. It's just so funny that the things that you do think are so important. That's stoicism. Like, that's stoicism, baby. Like, just thinking about the stuff when you are arriving at a thing that you're like is just, capturing your attention, taking up all your thoughts, something you're worried about, something that you're regretting, something that you're dreading. One of the Stoic practices that I'm reading about is that you think about in the future, think about 10 years from now what this is going to look like. And I know that seems very simple, but I don't think we do that often, where we maybe take a similar problem that you had 10 years ago, which you probably can't even come up with because you don't remember any problems that you had 10 years ago. Because when you look at them from a distance, or another way that they also do it is whatever thing you're struggling with, you imagine that your friend is struggling with it and you talk to yourself in third person, like giving advice. And it just sounds so simple, like duh.
Yeah.
If it was, but just doing these really dumb, simple things of like, whatever I'm worried about tomorrow, like this weekend, I'm like, oh my God, I have to fly to Winnipeg and do a show and like be my best self because it's the first night of this tour. I'm very excited about it. Then the next night I have to go to Vancouver and like be excited. And it's like, I'm dreading on this flight and I'm like, what would I say to a friend that was like feeling stressed out about this? And I would say, like, how cool is it that you even get to travel across Canada in one day? It's the miracle of air travel, that Louis C.K. joke that you love. And also, like, you're going to be very old someday and look back and be like, God, I wish I could still travel like that and lug around suitcases and was able-bodied enough to sit on a plane for 7 hours and that people were that excited to see me and I had the ability to stay on stage for hours at a time. So it just gets me out of it almost instantly.
I feel like sometimes you could like think about like the one, like there's two fans right in Winnipeg right now that can never see you. Just two. But just picture two. Joe the plumber and Steve the barber.
Oh my God, Joe the plumber. What a reference.
So or whatever. Vanessa the hairdresser. My point being is that there's people in Winnipeg right now that have never got to see you live, right? Imagine just being in their shoes of being like, I got to get my hair done. I got to get ready. I'm going to see my favorite comedian. Like, this is my whole day. I've been thinking about this for a month.
I can't think about that because then I start freaking out that I can't live up to that. Like, they're giving it too much. But
my point being though is like if you're feeling like, oh, whatever, why is it even worth it? It is worth it. And yes, but I get that. I get the other side too.
I never think it's not worth it. I just have dread of like, it's going to be a long day of like lines and feeling tired and really a lot of time to just ruminate about what I was just saying, which is like, oh no, I haven't done stand-up in a while. Like, what if I don't give these people the show that they asked for? Like, people are sometimes telling me how much they're paying for tickets, and it just like, I'm like, oh no.
Oh like, yeah, no, yeah. Vanessa the hairdresser is broke. Yes.
I'm like, should I need to like go down on these people or something extra. Like I just, I'm so
meet and
grateful
suck.
that I'm just so grateful. And that really is it. I got to think about those people that I know how excited I get when I get to see my favorite performers. And so it just feels awesome that I get to give that to some people.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back with an all Fanthrax rest of the episode right after this. And we're back. Real quick before we get to Fanthrax, I just got texts from Emil Wakim. We are taping this on Tuesday, and he just did his set, and he said, dude, just taped. It was so fun. Holy shit. Your tip about right before the curtain, just having that moment was so useful. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. So I told him...
What was the tip?
I said, thinking of you today, I wish I could be there. This is just the start of a long career for you. Have as much fun as possible and try to take a moment right before the curtain opens when you get to stand alone by yourself for the first time, like all day. It's the only time you're alone.
Wow.
And not on stage. It's like you have this weird moment where they mic you and they have to back away from you because the curtain's going to open and it's just you by yourself and you're just behind the curtain and there's no one looking at you and you're just alone. And it's just a chance to like reflect and I said, and just bask in how cool this all is. You are an incredible talent and this is only the beginning. And so I'm so glad I knew he would kill. I'm so happy for him. It's so fun to get to have, it's so nice to be able to give advice to someone. I have to say about Emil, where he's 24, but he's really actually able to put it into practice. Like the fact that he actually did that behind the curtain and had that moment, like he's just a very mature person for his age. I would have been like, yeah, whatever, like old veteran, like telling me this thing, like I'm gonna be nervous and I want to be nervous and that's how I'm gonna do it. Like I'm really into people who are open to trying it a different way, or like are open to, because some people are like, I know what I'm like before a set. I'm nervous, I'm gonna be thinking about it all day, that's just the way I am. I get that, but like it's just nice. I need to be more like that too, of like just being open to maybe thinking I don't have it all figured out and like just trying something new. And in that moment to try that, to have that work is nice.
It's an amazing thing to know that, like, I still think about when Emil picked us up from the airport and drove us an hour to, where were we, Bloomington? And just right away, like, we went to Subway. And just right away having we both, like, we really loved this kid. Like, he really was, like, so, like, he listened and he was so mature beyond, like, well beyond his years. And then you gave him a guest set and he did so well. And I don't know, there was just so many things of, like, okay, like, oh, this kid, he doesn't even just feel like another stand-up. He just, I don't know, he feels like an old friend somehow in a young kid's body. And
I know.
And I was just
he really is such a...
Yeah, so I was really like I've been like really like emotional about him like doing these kind of things because like we live together too. Like
is he our son?
Like he is kind of our son. Like I live like on the road. I sleep next to it. Like I freaking make love to this boy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh.
But I'm glad that you're finally coming out about it. And
yeah, we like gently kiss each other like till the early morning, and like.
Okay, that's why he's not going on tour with us anymore. See, he said he was just wanting to work clubs, but I didn't know it was because you were praying.
No, I wasn't praying on him. Don't put words in his mouth that he said.
Don't put my penis in his mouth.
No, but I really am.
No,
like,
but you're right. He is.
It's awesome.
He's a special kid, and like when we first met him, I feel the same way. It is so funny to think of in any of your friendships. I mean, I think back to like the way we were talking about it on a couple episodes ago of just like how we all met and like the first time meeting and your first impressions. And I just thought he was just another comic picking us up from the airport, and he had on like 60s, like 50s doo-wop music. And I was like, how old does he think we are? And he was just so conversational and so, it's just, there's some comics you meet that you're just like, this person really is funny and cares about it. But that's the best part about comedy is like the friends I've made, because I think it does attract really smart, like emotional men. And I think that's why I love so many of the male friends that I've made through comedy, is because you guys, as Pat Allen told me on the phone once, she was like, I was worried about like, oh my God, I'm masculine energy, or I'm feminine energy, and I want to find, or I'm masculine energy, and probably, because I do stand up. That's what she said, and she was like, and I was like, oh, I have a crush on this comedian at the time I did, and she was like, oh, well, that's fine because male comics are feminine energy. Because for a woman to do that, it takes masculine energy. For a man to do it, it's very emotional to do stand up and to talk up there and like share yourself. And I think that that's what I see in like Emil and you is like men who are willing to get a little bit deeper and talk about realer things. And I just like appreciate that so much. So let's get to
How funny would it be if he bombed? Like we're talking about this. He's like, I had so much fun. And then we watched the set and
we watched it. And we're like,
they didn't laugh as loud as I thought.
Oh my God.
All
right.
Before we get to Fanthrax, do you guys want to plug some tour dates?
Yeah, let's plug some tour dates. Coming up, we have Texas next week. Starting on Thursday, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas, 2 shows at the Paramount Theater. And then we are doing Irving, Texas on Friday night. That is like Houston area. And then on Saturday night,
Irving's
we'll
Dallas.
Oh, sorry, Irving is Dallas. I'm so sorry about that. And then on Saturday, we will be in Houston, Texas. And yeah, so it's a Texas week next week. And then it was just announced I'm going on a little mini tour with Bert Kreischer this summer. And tickets are available. And Mark Norman and other comedians. There's a video that came out. It's not out yet as we're taping this, but it's out now as you're hearing it. And it is called what is it called? You can get tickets at, one second, hold on. Let me just look at this really quickly.
Okay.
We're doing like stadiums or like small stadiums, amphitheaters, and it is. Oh my God, where is it? I'm so sorry.
Bert Kreischer likes Nikki Glaser's legs tour.
I did put my legs in the video for it that I made for him because I did like a little promotional video. So it is called the Fully Loaded Festival. So you can go to fullyloadedfestival.com to check out tickets there. We're doing arenas, raceways, and minor league stadiums and amphitheaters. Me, Bert Kreischer, and a handful of other like really great comics.
That'll be
but
sick.
I would actually love for you to come see me alone too. So whatever you can do. All right, let's get to Fanthrax. All right, let's get to it. What are the besties saying?
They're saying all sorts of things, but let's start with Dani.
Hi, Nikki, Andrew, Noah. This is Dani. I'm calling from New York City, and I have a cure to report. I was waiting for the subway this morning on the platform, and I saw multiple people walking around with those like fucking tinfoil blankets that they give you after you're on a marathon. Oh. And I don't know. I think this is pretty cute. It's kind of like, hey guys, I ran a marathon. Like, we get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you need that. Do you need that? I really don't think you need that. Anyways, that's my cue. And Jack and Jill.
Man,
I love that. That was melodic.
Jackie Pop.
Yeah. Runners are we know that you're a runner because you look sick. And we know that you ran a marathon because you look like very thin and wobbly and tired and dehydrated and your nipples are bleeding. Like, I get it. You're wearing a medal around your neck. I know that some people get annoyed when runners wear their like medals all weekend after a marathon. Let them have that day. But the blanket, no one needs that. If I ever run a marathon, will I be sporting a blanket? You're damn right I will. But it is look at me. It is.
And it also looks like you're showing off in front of a homeless person. It's like, oh, would you like this?
Yeah, look at this.
I need it for an hour. Is that cool? Oh, you need it? Oh, are you cold? But I just ran 30.
My feet are bleeding because I ran 26 miles. Why are your feet bleeding? Oh, because you don't have shoes and you haven't been allowed to bathe.
Yeah, and I make like $3 million a year, but I save like I raised like $38 for St. Jude. So like I'm better than you, and I'm like warm. I'm actually too warm. You want one of mine? I have like 3 blankets.
Those blankets seem so like it kind of makes me go like, oh, like when I think about cotton being pulled apart or like nails on a chalkboard, like putting on a plastic blanket on your sweaty skin. Like I want something. I want a towel. Why not a towel?
Because I think I think what it is
They keep the
for
heat trapped in
hyperthermia.
better. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
There's always a reason.
Well, yes, I do think it's and they all act that, but that is the only day that people really get to be celebrities. When your city is doing a marathon and the people that have run it get to like limp around all day.
And they wear their number all day. I've seen that.
Yes, the number.
We were in
All
Chicago
day.
performing, and the Chicago marathon was the same weekend. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And all of them were in
when
the
we were catching
elevator.
our flight, they were all like camped out around, just like sharing each other's times and like talking about pictures of each other. And I'm like, I was actually impressed. Like I'm impressed by anyone who can run that much. It's really insane.
My little brother ran one in like 3 hours and 45 minutes, which was pretty fucking solid.
Wow, I'm surprised that I'm gonna act like that's good or not because I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you break it down, it's
I bet that
several.
is good. I think under 4 hours is pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, but you're obsessed. Like, you have to run like 20 miles a week before. Like, it's.
I know.
I ran 2 miles yesterday in the park. I felt pretty good about that.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean,
You got to start somewhere.
Forest Park is such a fucking great place to run. It's hilly. It's more hilly than you think.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Do you have a run app? Because they'll tell you how many hills you climb. I find
Oh.
it to be pretty flat
What run
based
app
on.
do you use?
I do the Nike Run app, which I really recommend because they do this thing at the end of your runs that is
Oh,
so
yeah.
fucking condescending. There's this one that's like, "Hey, girl." It's like, "Hey, it's Jane from Nike Run. Listen, every run is just a little change in the piggy bank, and someday it's gonna cash in." Or it'll be like, and I'll be like, "Bitch, I just ran 4 miles for the first time in 6 months, and I clocked an 8:10 per mile. Like,
Yeah.
give me some credit." And they're like, "Wow, whoa, hey, it's Rodney from Nike Run." Girl, you better slow down. I'm getting intimidated. I can't keep up with you. You're in my rear view mirror. And I'm like, don't talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old who just got new shoes that you're like, wow, you're fast. Like, it's so condescending. I cannot believe it. I always screen record at the end of my run so I can catch them being condescending. And whenever I'm recording, I swear to God, it'll just be like, good job. And I'm like, come on, say something condescending.
What
It's really fun.
What? So you just type in like, I want to run 3 miles, and it'll do like a circle for you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
No, you type in 3 miles and then you start running, and when you hit 1 mile, it'll go 1 mile, 2 miles to go. And then at 2 miles, it'll be like 1 mile left.
I bet you there's apps
And then-
that give you wherever you're at
A route?
A route, don't they? I thought.
Yeah,
that's,
I think it's called my runner, but like just go in running in Forest Park and just fucking run.
I know. My problem is though, is I'll run and then I'll be like, "Fuck, I can't go."
But that's why you need the thing, because as soon as it goes 1 mile, you just turn around and go back.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you
a
know,
good point there. That's
there's a good point
the
there.
science there over there.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
next Fanthrax.
Okay, next one is from Nicole.
Hi, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. I was just listening to, this is Nicole calling from Salt Lake City.
Hey, girl.
And I was just listening to the episode where you were talking about what lip tattoo you would get. And Noah said that she would get pointless, but without the vowels. So PNTLESS. And it reminded me of, I think I was in 5th grade. And I really wanted to be like different, show how I was not like the other girls. I was like a cool, different girl. And so when I was choosing my screen name, I wanted to have my screen name reflect that. And so I made it Normal People Scare Me, but too long. So just like Noah, I took out the vowels. So it's NRMLPPL. SCRME. So it just kind of looked like normal people scream.
People scar me. Oh, scream.
And yeah, it was really embarrassing nickname. I also think, or embarrassing screen name. And I think first screen name or most embarrassing screen name is just a fun prompt. It's one of my
such
personal
a
faves.
good one.
Love the pod. Love you guys. Bye.
Normal people scare me. It's so cuh. Because you're trying to be like, I'm so different that like, it's the curse thing, but it's so cute because it's how cute she is. And normal people scream. I love it. I love everything about it. And it's such a good prompt. What were your guys' first screen names? This is a good question. Thank you so much for that, Nicole.
I'm too old I didn't really have an AIM. That's how old
you
I am.
didn't?
I had one, but I wasn't like a, wine 'em, dine 'em, 69 'em kind of thing. It was more like, I don't know, Andrew is a man. I don't know, like Andrew Collin 04967. Something like.
Wow.
It was. I'm sorry.
What were
It
you,
was,
Noah?
Yeah, it was just
Do you
shit.
remember any of yours?
I think my very first one was friggin' 69.
Friggin?
Yeah, 69.
Like FRGGEN?
How old were you when you were
Wait,
69?
69? Why 69? Because you were just like,
No, because
It's
I
just-
wanted to be as obnoxious as possible.
oh, so it's ironic.
Yeah.
Oh my, how old were you? That's cool.
I think maybe I was like 15 or 16
Oh my God.
when I first
Mine
got a
was like
Yeah, what was yours?
Glaze 84. I think was my first one because born in 84 and Glaze, obviously. And then I remember for a while I was Dave Matthews is hot, but that just looks like Dave Matthews I shot, which is also something that I maybe could have done at that age because I was such a Wild fan. So we also, my friends and I used to do this thing. I don't know if I had talked about it on the show before, but we used to go in AOL chats a lot. And there was this chat that we found that was people doing wolf role plays where they would be wolf. It was like a wolf chat. I don't understand it. It was people that like were wolves. Their names were all wolves. And we used to go in there and act as one of them. And you used to be able to like kind of recreate how wolf. So I don't understand. They would be like, paws her young cubs, like screeches into the moonlight. And it would be like, sniffs her ear, cuddles up next to Nocte Lupus. Like they would all just like fuck each other and like have cubs and like roam around in packs and howl in the moon. And it was just a bunch of people pretending to be wolves. And you would do a double, like you would do, the colon sign, like the two dots.
Yeah.
You would do colon, and then whatever the action was, and then colon, and that would be the action.
Gotcha.
And then whatever you write outside of that is what the wolf says or howls or whatever. But we used to like troll and harass these wolf chats for like, that was our hobby, was just seeing how weird these wolf people were and then bugging them, and like to the point where they would block us and when you make new names, and then we would harass them again. Like we were like little cyber bullies to these wolf community. But I remember one of the people was named Nocte Lupus, and we were like obsessed.
I think I was friends with that
haunted
guy.
that guy.
Yeah, friggin' 69. wolf.
Died.
I went to see his band.
Oh my God, my favorite, the boy that I liked so much, Doug Reese, 98 Doug Reese is what we called him. But he, his screen name, I'll never forget, it was so cool. It was Marley Fan, but Fan was spelled PH because he liked fish. Ugh. And when I used to hear that little door open on that AIM, my God, that was the best sound ever, was, and it would be Marley Fan, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I would just like wait all night for him to come in the room. Oh my God, that was a different time. That was so exciting. All right, one more Fanthrax before final thought.
PH?
Yeah, Fanthrax.
Yeah,
Okay,
man,
let's
just like
go
Dougie Reese.
With Isabel.
Is Doug Reese married now?
I think so. I haven't been able to find him, but he's
Nikki. Hi,
often in my
Noah. Hi,
dreams.
Andrew.
Hi.
Wait, hold on.
I felt like she was here,
Restart it.
that person.
I know, I did too. I was like, someone's in our chat.
Yeah. That was a door. Terrible.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Noah. Hi, Andrew. Calling in with love from Austin, Texas. I'm going to be seeing Nikki in a few weeks here in Austin. I'm so excited.
And Andrew.
I'm dragging my boyfriend, Nikki. We're sitting front row. But
His name's
I'm
Nikki?
calling in
That's what I
today
thought.
with
I
a
don't think so.
mispronunciation or maybe just like a
Ooh.
learning lesson and a misunderstanding I think I developed as a child. But I used the phrase lobe of corn, LOBE, that's lobe of corn, at a dinner party this weekend and was absolutely roasted. No pun intended. So learn from my mistakes. Lobe of corn is not something people say.
Oh, ear.
I'm 25
Oh
years
my-
old.
Oh my God, ear and then lobe.
Yeah.
She
It's not
thought
the same thing
ear
as saying an ear of corn. I don't know why people don't say lobe
It
of
makes
corn.
sense.
It looks like an earlobe. It's long. I think people should start
No.
saying that. Anyways, love you guys.
Girl,
Such a huge bestie here.
I get why
Sending
you did
all
this.
the best.
You're so cute. I feel like I know her. That voice is so familiar. I love her voice. That's exactly what she did. She didn't say ear of corn. She said, but she's very, this girl's a smart person because she's making connections and she just picked the wrong thing. But it's like, that is just, but it sounds so weird. But you see how she got there. And to say it looks like a lobe, like a kernel looks like a lobe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to. Why is it called? Why is it called ear of corn? Or
I don't know why it's called an ear of corn.
Did you ever put those things in the side of the corn? Those little
who needs them?
Things?
Just hold them.
I did that.
You did that?
I think
Your family had those?
I just like torturing corn.
It does feel good to like use those and not get your fingers all buttery, but god damn is corn good. All right. I loved that one so much. I want more of those like that where you just fuck up the word because you think you just I mean, that's happened to me so many times. I wish I could remember one of them, but I can't. Okay, let's.
Do you know the difference between reoccurring and recurring? And
Wait,
you know that
aren't
there's
they
two
the
different
same?
words?
I
learned this today.
Oh, tell me.
Well, I thought I was misspelling reoccurring, and then recurring showed up, and then I go, has it been recurring the whole time? Is there no reoccurring?
The whole time? The whole time?
The whole time?
But they're both different words?
Yes.
We'll find out more when we get back from this break. We're back.
Reoccurring with an O means the guest just came back once, right? Recurring is a constant keeps coming back.
Oh, okay. I like it. Reoccurring is like it's the one time it happened again, and recurring.
Yes. I had no idea.
It sounds like you're just trying to say reoccurring and you're being lazy. Like it sounds like recurring came out of you.
It sounds like
Floridaing it up.
A tattoo in Noah's lip.
Regularing. Yeah.
God, we're all the same. Green.
We really are green. Oh my God, I almost said that. Okay. All right, Noah, next Fanthrax.
All right, let's do a quick mispronunciation from Emily.
Okay.
Today, my boyfriend said camole instead of chamomile.
That's it.
I mean, I love that person.
I love you.
I felt like that was
Kamali?
Camole.
Kamoli.
Here, I'll play it again.
Yeah, one more time.
Today, my boyfriend said camole instead of chamomile.
Wait, can I do an impression of her?
Can you do something for me when you do this impression? Can you say,
yes,
my boyfriend said guacamole instead of guacamole?
Today, my boyfriend said guacamole instead of guacamole. And that is not me shitting. Like, her voice is so crisp. It was made me want to do it because I didn't do a good job. It made it sound like I was making fun of her voice, but that was a crunchy voice.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Crisp.
That's like cartoon.
And yes, it was really, really good. And I love that just short, like, I'm getting to the point. Kamoli is so
The best.
I just love that she was just, I want to hear how she responded to it. She'd be like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. And then she pulls up our Instagram and is like, she's sitting across from him going like, she's staring him down and she says, my boyfriend just said, and then she sets down the phone and she throws it in the ice bucket like Jennifer Aniston when she goes, and that is what you call closure. For those of you who know that Friends reference.
And then the phone looks even better like Gigi Hadid's face.
I am drip.
2 episodes. 1. Who knows anymore?
It's just one.
Green.
Okay, here's another one from Bianca.
Hi, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. This is Bianca from Philadelphia. I have been losing sleep because a few episodes ago that you said that the way bartenders shake a drink is "k," and that hurts me because I'm a bartender, and I am also 3 months right now, as of today, sober from alcohol. So I know that alcohol is "k," and I know that that's just the way it is. I work at a 0 proof bar in Philadelphia, all 0 proof liquors, but there is a purpose to shaking, and like how you shake. And I know it is "k" and it sounds "k," but there is a certain way to shake, and you do kind of have to be obnoxious with it. I know that some bartenders can be extra, but I would just like to be excluded from that community. If I could please be granted that pass, that would be really appreciated, so that I could live my life as normal and shake my cocktails and not think that I'm being because it is haunting me every time.
Oh my God.
So.
I'm so
anyway,
sorry,
I love you
Bianca.
guys so much. I can't wait to meet you in May when you come back to the Philadelphia area. Tears will be shed. And I can't wait to hug you. It'll be a very surreal moment in my life. Anyway, have a wonderful day, week, month, etc. Love you lots. And don't be and don't let me be it. Thank you.
I would never. You have total pass to shake those drinks as much as you want, because if it does serve a purpose I don't fucking know. I'm just spouting things out. I've never shaken a drink. I've never been a bartender. I just know that as you said, Bianca, like you get that so much of drinking culture is so and I just think that sometimes bartenders, like it's more male bartenders, to be honest with you. Like they're just trying to like get it, like being like rattling something really loud. Yeah. Like sometimes you just look over and you go, this guy knows that everyone's looking at him and he loves it, and it's a little bit
It's a way
but if it does serve a purpose,
show off the arms. I take it back. I think that's what they're doing. I think a lot of bartenders are muscular a lot of times, and they're showing,
because they're like always lifting.
Yeah, they're showing their biceps and stuff through the drink. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at my fucking arm. Like a fucking.
You flex your muscles a lot. You like your biceps to be seen. Is that good?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna get an argument here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I bet I'm kissed so much of the time. It's like insane. Like, I think that I'm maybe anything. I mean, kiss defined by anything you do that you wouldn't do unless people were watching you, and to give a perception that you're cooler than you are.
But here's the thing: I don't think I'm cool because I like flex. I think it's just like. I don't know what it is, because I'll do it alone too. I'll flex in the mirror towards myself. So I don't think is that good?
You're trying to convince yourself that you're cool.
I don't even think it's about being cool though, for real. Like, it's
does Bretta like muscles? Does she get really excited when there's like a new one that she feels? Like, do you get what kind of?
It's not that.
When we're talking about like positive reinforcement in terms of like accomplishments and our partners saying the right thing and stuff, like, do you? It's harder to know though when your partner is like changing their body. Like if you're around them every day, you don't really see the gains as much as if you took like a month off and then you're like, wow, you look different. Does she notice, and do you ask her to like, hey, feel this? Like, look what I did.
Not that much. I have done that before. I honestly feel like I'm really lifting now, less about aesthetic stuff and more about functionality and my mental health. And those are honestly the two first things.
And it makes you feel really good when people say, look at your bicep.
But I'm not going to lie. I was banging it out, and I looked at my own body and got more turned on, because I knew that it was hotter for her potentially to look at this body.
Don't spin it. That's why.
I did spin it.
Because you were like, you got hotter when you saw yourself, you got hotter because you knew that she was maybe hotter for you because
that was part of it. I'm just saying part of it. But the other part of it was literally I was looking at my own body being like, wow, you know what? You've worked really hard, and it looks like I look like
the way you want it to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that can be sexy towards yourself, right? I don't know.
Totally. And I think a lot of times, like, I think Noah one day you asked me, like, do you ever like masturbate like in the mirror? So there was some kind of like mirror question of like, do you ever turn yourself on? And I think a lot of girls are allowed to do that and be like turning themselves on. But men, when they do it, it's just a little bit like, you're not allowed to be that vain. That's So I'm glad that you feel that way about yourself. That's nice. I think that I'm not into muscles, and like I've never really been like, I want my man to be muscle. It's never been something that has ever occurred to me like I would want or like I'm lacking. But it is exciting when there's ever a change that is obviously for the better. Like when you feel like a new muscle pop out, or you're like, what is this back? Like, who is this person? Like it almost feels novel, like you're with someone new. So I think there's something about that I like. Yeah. Final thought. I just think that, I don't know. There's something about like when we were talking about this before, when your partner shaves, when you have anything like new, you get a new haircut, you do something like, it's like, oh, there's a new person. I'm thinking about getting wigs. I just found out that Billie Eilish wore a wig to the Grammys one year. She bought a Billie Eilish wig on Amazon and wore it over her bleach blonde locks that she had not debuted. And I was like, that looks so real. Like, it'd be fun to just like start wearing wigs and I don't know, kind of role playing, doing fun stuff like that, or like just to, like, to spice it up. I almost, there's something that I like about there's something that I'm very turned on by with whoever I'm with, to hear about how they are with women in their past where it was like new. There's something about newness and like hooking up for the first time, or like, sweeping someone off their feet, or like the awkwardness, or like how smooth they can be. Like my boyfriend now, I'm just like, sometimes I just love to hear like about his past experiences, because I'm just like, oh my God, you're such a sexual man. Like, you're like, I mean, not that he does anything that's wild, but I just love hearing about how he has like desires and like has been like, I don't know, like there's something about men they're so like controlled, and they know what they like, and they are measured about things. And Chris is very like organized, and he's driven, and it's just so funny, like when men are just like get like kind of like bedazzled by a woman, and they're like kind of like just like disarmed, and they do something like charming. I don't know, it's just like such a sexy vibe, and I think you lose that when you're in a relationship, that like newness, and I crave seeing that in my partner. I think that's why I want like sometimes in a relationship I'm like, oh, I want to open it up, because I just want to unleash that kind of part of them that is like
there's something
horned up for something new.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I get
is.
what you're saying. There's something fun about like either seeing like a secret talent, or like something you didn't even know the person was really interested in, because you're like, oh, this is like a whole different person. It's like you're almost having sex with their twin, or something that you never even like met yet. Like Brenna, like we were driving and she like, I don't know, like the rap came on, like newer rap that I don't really know. And she knew every word, but not just like kind of like really talented of like her memory, like her memory. I don't know. It just turned me on.
Yes.
It turned me on to see her like, just like really
she did this
flowing
thing where
and
she,
like confident.
She was really good at this thing that came out of nowhere for you.
Yeah. And I think that's like anything. I think if your partner has like a newfound confidence in whatever it is, whatever new hobby they're doing or passion they have, it's hot, because you know that it brings them happiness. And I think that turns you on, I don't know.
I agree. I think that really, it makes, like one time I found out that Chris used to love Legos as a child. And I was like, you loved Legos? Like, even that is just like so cute that you were like, you cared about, like, you would play Legos. Like, just hearing someone like, I don't like that they just had this whole life without you, and and I think that when you discover like a new skill or a new thing they know, or like, oh yeah, I used to really be into anime or something, you're like, what? Like, there's a part of you that goes, I don't know you fully. And that's very mysterious. And now who's this guy? And like, maybe I don't have you figured out. And there's something that makes me feel a little bit maybe uneasy about that. And maybe like I don't have it all figured out, and makes me want to like figure it out. And maybe it makes me like a little more hard to get, because I'm like, I think I have him pegged. I know exactly what he likes. And I'm like, wait, you really are into Dua Lipa? What? Like the other day, Chris was on radio and he was saying like, I got Dua Lipa. There's something about her. And I just wrote him Dua Lipa. I was like, me too, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. She is not someone that like aesthetically I am usually that attracted to. But whenever I see, me and Chris agree, whenever you see Dua Lipa, first of all, you don't even recognize her most of the time because she's such a shapeshifter. But I'm always wanting more. I will click on whatever Dua Lipa picture I see to zoom in on it, because she's fascinating. And Chris and I, like, I just love that. I'm like, you like Dua Lipa? Like, oh, little cutie. What do you like about Dua Lipa? Do you like her music? And he's like, he's like, I don't know.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
This. He's like typed in the word like DUA. Like, it's so cute that he was like, I want to see more of Dua Lipa. I just thought it was really cute. It's like the Legos of people.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's so cute when like someone that you love like has an interest where you're like, what the I don't know. I want to think of like more. Is there anything about that comes to mind for Avi that you're like, wait, what?
We just had a moment like this, I think yesterday or the day before, but I think it was something that I did that he didn't know about. But I can't think of it.
I remember finding out that Chris is like an avid watcher of The Good Doctor. And I was like, The Good Doctor? Like, I don't know. I really like it. I'm like, wait a second. Like, in what world would you stop and watch The Good Doctor? Like, it's just, I know people watch this show, but not my Chris.
Yeah.
And it's so cute that he's like invested in this like medical drama about an autistic doctor. It's just so adorable to me.
Brenna loves yellow mustard. And I have an affinity for yellow. I'm more of a mayonnaise head, as we know, but I love like a yellow mustard way more than a spicy mustard. And it's just something like that. I don't know. It's so cheesy.
All right, we got to go. Thank you for listening to the show this week. I will be back in St. Louis next week. I can't wait to be there in person. Don't, shake all the drinks you want to this week. Just, and don't worry, you're not going to be cut. Don't be cut. And dirty back
down.